Hello, we are back. This is race 6 of the 2024 OVKA karting season. Format for the day is qualifying and then a 17-lap extended final. I qualified 4th in the 206 Legends class, which again is a 50 and over class. The weight on the carts combined with the driver is 390 and above. And we're getting ready to go. The 16 right there, he qualified probably 0.7 seconds faster than the second place, the number 4. So he's going to be pretty strong coming around here at the start. We have the 420 class in front of us. There was only 2 carts, so they're putting a gap. If the 420 class gets a green, we know we're going to get the green. So, we might come a little staggered. I think the 4 is actually going to be in front of the 16 as we hit the green flag, and he's going to take off. But we're going to find out real quick that when you don't race here all the time, you forget about stuff. So at the OVKA, on your first lap, you go straight back there, and as you can see, the 4 took a left like he was doing a regular routine lap. So that cost him. That put him back to about 5th, I think. But he was relatively fast, so he's got 17 laps to overcome that, the left back there. But I came through it pretty decent. I'm in first place right now. I know without a doubt that unless the 16 wrecked behind me, which I didn't think that he did at this point in time, the 16 is going to be catching me pretty quick because, again, I had looked at the times and I knew that he was considerably faster than I was on this configuration. And he gets under me right here. I don't try to block him or anything like that. I was just going to try to fall in, see if I could get some pointers from him. I'm not the biggest fan of what we call the bus stop back here that we're approaching right now. I can get through it fast sometimes. Again, there's a couple different philosophies, I think. I don't try to swing way out and then take the straight shot through it. I try to just turn a little sooner and treat it as more of a left-hand turn than trying to drive straight through it, as some guys will do. But the 16, he's pulling on me pretty good. I came into this race 4th in the points. If you saw my last video, I wasn't super pleased with the outcome of that race. It was not a good points race for me, and I felt I should have been faster before I went into the 5th race. When I look back, since I put that video out, I did look back and check my lap times, and in the first 4 races, I was generally logging in the 2nd fastest or 3rd fastest lap time of all the other racers. Although I didn't necessarily finish in that position, but at least I had the speed. I knew I could contend for 2nd place pretty well. But as you can see, the 86 you've seen in many other videos, and at the end of the 5th race, he was 2nd in points. He gets past me. Pretty much, I'm noticing everybody's pulling on me on the straights again, like I noticed in the 5th race. And I tried to go in deep right there. Oh, okay, it doesn't happen yet. But I sometimes close up just a little bit in the turn part, but he will pull on me once we hit the straights. Now he must have slid a little bit going into that corner there. You can see, with the 206, you've got to keep the momentum up, and if you just a slight scrub like that, and you see I made up about 8 cart lengths just with him sliding his back wheels out just a hair. But we hit the straight, and he increases his distance in front of me. Yeah, I'm trying to cut some track out and just make that more like a turn, and it does close it a little bit more of the distance, but he's able to pull it back out on me. I don't know if it's really killing my exit speed or not. Now right there, I actually lose concentration for just a second. I'm doing this video a good amount of time after this race, but I do remember thinking, ooh, and then, turning a little late and almost sliding off the track. I think I was looking forward and thinking about how I'm going to try to make improvements while I'm driving to see if I can close down this distance. Because again, this is a 17 lapper. We're only about 4 laps in. And a 17 lapper at this track, you know, it's not going to kill you, but you will feel it when you start closing in on the end of the race. Now the 318, I think he'd been bumping me through that bus stop area every lap, and he was able to make a good run on me right there and get around me on the exit of the bus stop, because he was going through it fast. Now later in the season, I noticed some people on the, when we get back around to it, I'll tell you which turtle it is, or curb. They were just driving straight over the curb, and it kind of straightens the whole chicane area out, and you know, you can have a faster exit speed. So we're coming around right here. I don't know if the 318 actually does it, and again the 84 gets under me right there. So right there they drive over that curb, straight over it. Not something that I was doing. But as you can see, first place, they have driven off into the sunset. The 86, you know, he's still in sight, but we're a little strung out, and I'm really going to have to start pressing or doing something to try to close this up, or I'm just going to be driving around in this position for the rest of the race, if not further back in the pack. Oh, and I even go one back. So the 4, he's recovering from his slight error at the beginning of the race. And I think we're starting to tighten up just a little bit. The 86, he's not really stretching it out anymore. He's kind of staying about the same distance in front of me. These guys, I feel like they got around me, but I'm keeping them in front of me, and I'm able to close in here and there on them. And I'm trying to figure out how I'm trying to make sure at this point I notice that I'm getting killed on the exit, and I'm getting smoked going down the straightaways. So I'm doing my best to try to keep my exit speeds up. And I'm also hoping that these guys get racy up there and start bumping into each other and knocking a few tenths off their times, off their lap times, which would bring me back into them. So like right now, the 84 and the 4 were getting a little racy, and I'm able to close right back in on the 84. And the 4 is not too far in front of him, as you can see. So these guys are still, you know, within striking zone, I guess you could call it. Just some tidbits about the OVKA. If you don't know, we most of the classes here are either KA 100 classes or LO206 classes, but we still run some Yamaha legacy motor packages. I'm not personally familiar with those because I've never raced them. And then we also have the 420 class. As a club, for this season, we were running Hoosier R70s, and see right there, okay, I'm going to cut away from that little story. With this being, you know, with the 206s not being a high power motor and having to keep your momentum up, as you noticed, I barely bumped the 84, and it pushed my momentum backwards, gave him a little boost, and within a second, he went from being right in front of me to about 12 kart lengths in front of me. So a lot of my hard work to try to stay with those guys and catch back up with them has been eradicated. So I'm just going to fast forward. You know, they're still up there in front of me. They've been able to stretch it out a little bit, but they've come together. We're about, I think we just went past 2 to go, or we're about to hit 2 to go. And I'm hoping that with all 4 of them together, you know, they bump into each other a little bit and slow down, so I can at least catch up to the back end of them and have some opportunity to try to get around somebody. You know, I don't really want anybody to wreck or mess up their go-kart, but, you know, it wouldn't hurt my feelings if they just drove straight off the track into the grass or something like that. But, you know, because I'm not that far back where if somebody does take a little off-track excursion, I should be able to, you know, get past them and pick up a position. So here we go, last lap. Looks like the 318 tried to get underneath the 84. The number 4 has actually completely recovered and is driving around in second place. So had he not made that, when I looked at the times after the race, his times were still a couple tenths faster than me, but nobody was really matching the winner of the race, the number 16. So that he was able to, I would say, completely recover, and he had some good racing too. So he's in the mix. He was able to pass everybody off, get back past everybody, which for me it's fun. It's fun to try to pass people. When you just drive around in the same position, never encountering any other go-karts, it's a little bit boring sometimes. And the Ford is still making that left on the cool down lap. But I ended up finishing 6th. Still had fun. I tried as hard as I could to catch those dudes. Again, I left here thinking, I really got to do something. So we're going to see on race 7. I didn't do it on this one, but it will get better. I'll at least leave that out there. All right, thanks, and see you at the next video.